Hi everyone, welcome to Authentic Ingenuity Entrepreneur. My name is Mina Crichton. Today's date is Sunday the 11th of January 2026. So Happy New Year everyone. Hope you're all enjoying your holiday break. I just thought I'd do a quick introduction. So this video clip I'm just going to go over quickly just so everyone can know exactly what I've been up to in the last little while. Going back to my court cases, I'm still going to be continuing that. I have to actually appeal all the documents or the decisions which I intend on doing the next couple of weeks or so, depending how things go. But at the moment, over the last little while since last year, I think going on from November, December, I've had to admit myself into the hospital to have a full medical checkup so I can have all my medical records updated, and so I've been consistently doing that. Unfortunately, my cervical spinal injury from the car accident that I had, but going backwards to 2010, is confirmed that there is compression on my spinal cord, and that there is a likelihood that I may need an operation. Given the symptoms that I've suffered with it, and I'm basically quite pain tolerant. I know I'm pretty strong when it comes to pain, and I've just learned to live with it. But the repercussions of it, the injury is actually internal. So I did my own research on my own health in regards to an injury to do with your cervical spinal injury. It's actually really, really quite serious internally, and now I am definitely, like I said in one of my video clips, I felt that I was being maimed. And the guy that caused the accident, the police actually let him go, and they lied at the court hearing about the car accident that they hadn't investigated, but they did. I did try to follow them up to try and get them to pursue the guy that actually hit my neck, because he did hit me, and then he didn't have a driver's license, and I'd already identified him, but the police actually is guilty. They let the guy go, even though I identified him officially at the Henderson police station.
Hi everyone, I thought I'd just do a quick video clip. I know heaps of people waiting on an update from myself, so that was just an introduction of my latest video clip. But I thought I'd quickly, first of all, just run you guys through of what happened with my spinal cord injury. I definitely have that. It's a permanent injury. ACC's already classified it as a permanent injury, so I've been doing my own research on my own injury, and I recognise the symptoms, but it's actually really serious.
The C3, C4, and C5 vertebrae form the midsection of the cervical spine, near the base of the neck. Injuries to the nerves and tissues relating to the cervical region are the most severe of all spinal cord injuries, because the higher up in the spine an injury occurs, the more damage that is caused to the central nervous system. Depending on how severe the damage to the spinal cord is, the injury may be noted as complete or incomplete. C3 vertebrae. The C2 to C3 junction of the spinal column is important, as this is where flexion and extension occur. Flexion is the movement of the chin towards the chest, and extension is the backward movement of the head. Patients with spinal cord damage at the C3 level will have limited mobility in both their flexion and extension. Symptoms of a C3 level spinal cord injury. Symptoms of a spinal cord injury corresponding to C3 vertebrae include limited range of motion, loss of diaphragm function, requirement of a ventilator for breathing, paralysis in arms, hands, torso, and legs, trouble controlling bladder and bowel function. C4 vertebrae. The portion of the spinal cord which relates to the C4 vertebrae directly affects the diaphragm. Patients with C4 spinal cord.
Hi everyone, welcome to Authentic Ingenuity Entrepreneur. My name is Mina Crichton. Today's date is the 21st of January 2026. So what I'm going to do in this video clip is I'm going to update you with my court case, and I started off this video clip just introducing you to using my last video clip to update you as far as my injury is concerned. I'm just going through the process at the moment, getting that looked at, and I will be having a meeting with the surgeon after I only just did the x-rays and the MRI, so I will find out once I speak to the surgeon in regards to my cervical spinal injury. So today's video clip, I'm going to update you with my court case and where we're at the moment. So my court case is definitely a crimes against humanity historically, okay? It's a complete home invasion of somebody's liberty and dignity. So it's a very, very, very serious criminal case upon one single person. But this also, it's global. They've used me like a product. They've used me to promote other people or other cultures. So this is, if you've been watching all my other video clips, I think most of you are getting the picture of what is human trafficking and what this new age system is actually doing. It's participation in organised crime linking to the government and people globally. It's a very serious case. It's money laundering. I have to say it is white supremacists, extremists. You know, we know that most people, rich people, all they care about is making money. It's one thing to make money. It's another thing if you use another human being to make money. That is what is wrong with what everyone has used me for. So they've actually used me for embezzlement or tax invasion internally. Like, that's why my case is so important, that it gets undone properly. I know where the evidence is. I'm the victim of crimes. I am a victim of set of circumstances. I'm not going through this difficult situation because it's my own doing. It is only because I'm being locked out, discriminated, and it's a trafficking ring, basically. So that is what everyone is witnessing, and I felt in my heart I'm within my rightful space to be doing this, because I've needed proper intervention publicly and from the right people internally from government, and it is working. So I want to thank you for everyone who is helping me. I know it's been really tough on me. It's very hard to ascertain my situation, but what I know, that without a shadow of doubt, that what I'm going through is beyond serious, especially when in cases like mine, it hits the crimes against humanity offences. That is very serious, and it is a category 4. But my case is so personal. I've had no choice but to go public because it's that personal. I'm doing it more for a self-defense and for proper intervention, and also to make sure it doesn't happen to other people, or allow other people the opportunity to protect themselves. Okay, it is definitely a trafficking ring. Long term, somebody else's plans, and trying to force their plans on my life or their beliefs on my life. But it is absolutely inhumane. It's dangerous. So I'll just carry on. So unfortunately, cases like mine, when it comes to a personal property, the breaches started from somewhere. They didn't just happen. Like, in reality, you didn't just wake up one day and think, oh my gosh, I've lost everything. where the heck am I? What's happening here? And that's exactly how it feels like to be trafficked, to be stuck in this kind of trafficking ring. You can walk around minding your own business. You can be a good person minding your own business, and then all of a sudden things just turn sour on you and you don't know what happened, and then you just realize, I've lost this, I've lost that, I've had no control. It's because there is a likelihood that you may be trafficked or gone through what I've gone through. However, unfortunately, to those who are responsible for what they've done to me secretly, historically, I'm pretty onto it. Okay, I'm old school teaching. I'm very efficient, and I'm very thorough. I know the laws really well, and I also know what a privacy breach is. But historically, people, I can actually prove that I've been animated or inanimate, which means secret societies that have been controlling and manipulating my set of circumstance just by surveillance and by using other people to traffic, like an informant. So there's an informant in your space on behalf of other people that's controlling and manipulating. These people, they have no intellectual intelligence to know what you're doing. Whatever your movements is, they've coded me historically, and that's why I've been denouncing everything that the opposing allies have been doing to me, even the government. I was absolutely shocked when I realized what they were doing on social media. I know a lot of people have walked into it not realizing what they've been used for, because that can happen. But this is a very, very serious kind of a conspiracy. It's cunning, it's evil, it's wrong, it's illegal, it's unfair on secret societies who actually are good civilians minding their own business. But if you're unaware of the tactics of the opposing allies, and if you ignore them, they will take you out. Okay, I have lost a lot. Words cannot explain what I've been gone through. But I have known that I've been targeted, and I have known that I've been used for a pecuniary advantage. Whatever other people going backwards when this started, whatever they were thinking, all they thought about and cared about was money. And they know that I'm suffering. They know that what I've done to me can turn back on them. So it hasn't been an easy journey for me. They're right into everything. So it is home invasion. It is a trafficking ring, and I'm able to prove that legally. But so I'm dealing with invisible opponents and a visible opponent. So it's so bad that even just going on the bus, or if you've got a car driving, they're glued to you. Okay, it's very hard to prove. It's your word against them. I've been telling the truth about my circumstances right from day one, and these people like to dictate, or that's where the animation comes in. They're animating me while I go out in public, and then they're dictating their own words. Okay, but they're into everything. They're glued to your bills. They're glued to everything you are doing. So basically, I'm fighting for my civil rights, and I'm being deprived from natural justice. I'm being deprived from, all my relationships are ruined. Okay, they're nosy Parkers. These people are right into everything. It's like I have no rights to anything, and if anything that I want to do, other people are making decisions for me. Okay, but as time have gone on, I have lost a lot of things. I almost feel like they're going to erase me from the face of the earth. But obviously that's not going to happen. And I'm old school taught. Okay, so I'm used to the old school method. And that is what you're hearing. And when I talk about the legal system and how it works, I'm more coming from the old school system, or how people can represent themselves in your country. In New Zealand, we can represent ourselves. It's our right to. We don't have to have a law degree, and that is what I'm up against. Okay, there is bias or prejudice, the sabotage. I'm locked out, and they're taking advantage of an innocent civilians. But I stand against that, and so it is actually. I know I'm within my rightful space to be doing what I'm doing. However, my case is so serious. It is what it used to be called. My kind of case is called an indictable case because of the home invasion. It's affected everybody, and everyone in my personal space is all at risk of going through what I'm going through. Okay, I don't know who's behind it, but I feel like the whole world is against me. But at the same time, I do feel God moving, and so I feel like I need to just keep going with what I'm going with. But it is an exploitation of a human being. Okay, they've used me like an app, and they've used me like a product to promote other people. They've used me for illegal commonwealth games and for relationship scams. And to my horror, when I realize how everything works, there is absolutely no hope for anybody if they are unaware of this kind of a conspiracy, because that's what it is. It is a conspiracy by secret society to secretly take over somebody else's personal space. So in my space, in my profile, they've conspired to take over my life, my journey, and diverting it as to somebody else. So basically what I'm doing is I'm claiming back all my rights, and I'm going to make all the wrong right, like make people accountable for what I've gone through. So just like I said, the car accident was intentional. I've actually had a total of 3 real serious car accidents, and they weren't my fault, and I got injured from it. The whiplash are from the car accident, and so with that, I'm currently have been diagnosed with a serious cervical injury, spinal injury. It is permanent, so it is a permanent disability. It is intentional damage, so that comes under intentional damage in the Crimes Act. However, the New Zealand police is definitely at the wrong, and I will definitely not give up until my court case is finished with it. I believe it's appalling what the government has done to me. It is disgusting. It is appalling. It's wrong. It's not right. I mean, even just for sensitive human beings, I cannot believe they've allowed what they've done to me to go on for so long. But my denouncing what they're doing secretly is working, and the right people, everybody's starting to catch the drift of what they're actually doing to me. They've actually done it to other people. We're talking about serial cybercrime under the Crimes Act, and it is an indictable case. It's home invasion by other states, by other cultures, other religion. I don't know who's behind it, but it is wrong. So basically, I'm just standing against that. I'm actually self-defense on my own property being my life, myself, and I'm standing against, no, it's not right what you've done to me, and so I'm standing against that. So keep in mind, I'm locked out. I'll try not to make this video clip too long. Okay, we're talking about my cases against New Zealand Police and IPCA. I know without a shadow of doubt I have won. I know I've suffered a lot. I know that they are in the wrong, and I'm not backing down. Nothing is for free, okay? I know I wasn't born to suffer to make other people rich. That is wrong. Anyone who has that kind of mindset, that is wrong. That is illegal. And it shouldn't be tolerated. Okay, we're talking about a lockout situation. So historically, I can prove I was trafficked while I was working for my employer. Because of the seriousness of so many culpable charges, or offences that has committed internally by other people. They've just taken turns and joined forces to take out a single person. It is hate crimes, okay? It's heinous hate crimes. It is organised crimes. And that is my personal experience of what everyone has done to me. So all the laws have been broken in my case. I've been an exploited victim while I was working for the government. So yes, I'm a threat. Okay, so you can be a threat to anyone about anything. The wrongdoing is in the cybercrime, and it's a matter of me proving that publicly and legally, which is not hard for me to prove. Okay, they've taken advantage of another person's goodwill, and then they're basically turning people's good acts into something evil. That is what they're doing with the cloning and the twinning and the switching and the animating. Okay, so I've suffered greatly from this. These people do not care about your feelings. They do not care about your emotions. All they care about is not getting caught. It is a game. They're addicted to the victims, and I'm definitely a victim of set of circumstances. I have definitely been through a hell of a lot. Yes, that everything is intentional, and sometimes I have felt that whoever's behind what I'm going through is they're feeding off my suffering, and it's like the minute anything positive happens, they want to destroy it, and that's exactly what they've done to me historically. It's that kind of a case. So read your set of circumstances correctly, and sorry about that, and think outside the box. Okay, so I'm going to update you with my New Zealand police case. Okay, it's not finished. I had the big problem where my laptop got damaged, and then I had to go through the process of getting that fixed. So that took a while, and then I had the issue where somebody was hacking into my laptop and deleting my profile. So I'm being personally attacked through all my court cases, but it is the opposition that they are sabotaging and impeding me so they can have the advantage. And then when I go to court, they're sabotaging my court case in between before it goes to a judge. But that is what they've done. So what happened was I put this memo together because I got sick, and I've had to admit myself in hospital to get myself a full medical checkup, and I will update you guys with that as things progress. I'm currently going through ACC. That's going good. I'm doing counselling. That is helping me go forward. So that is good. I'm just going with the process as things happen. So I've got good support at the moment, and I'm trying to just going with the process. It's really painful to deal with things you want to give up and you don't want to deal with because you just want to leave it behind. But what I have felt, what everyone's done to me, they've kept me locked up in a box, and they've made me live in the past, and then they're mockingly mocking me because they know that they actually believe that I'm not going to get out of this. I don't believe that. I believe I will get out of this. I believe I will get my justice. I've just got to go with this new system, and I thought I'll share it so to help others so they can understand their own situation. It is horrific. It's inhumane. It's deadly. It's emotionally tormenting. Words cannot even describe the things and the pain that I've gone through personally. However, I'm okay. So this here is what I sent to the judge before I got quite sick and went to the hospital, and I've had to take time off, and I've been really busy with my counselling. That alone is quite intense. It's painful, but going forward, it's a positive thing. So I actually had asked the judge, these are the laws that I used. I've also did ask the judge to get a criminal barrister to take over my case, because my case, I know, is so serious. The system's actually diverted. What they did to me was, I was minding my own business. People were actually recording me and digging up my past without my consent. That is what has actually happened. And because I know that there were so many bad things that have happened to me, then I never mentioned it or told anybody. All they've done is they were digging to find people, to join forces against me, and that is what this conspiracy involves of home invasion. It's so serious. It's a diversion of a system. And then they studied me while I was working for the government under the camera, just under the camera, and I've known it, and it's been my word against them, and I haven't been able to do anything about it other than putting in complaints for intervention, which unfortunately the system has let me down. So this here is what I put in for the judge. I've actually asked the judge at this time to allocate a hearing date for court and to give leave for an appeal, because I wanted to have an appeal in court, because it's my right to. Okay, this is the new laws and the new legislation. If you're representing yourself, you can represent your own business too. So and it clearly says on the Ministry of Justice website that you can represent yourself. Okay, so it's fraud if you can represent yourself. You're doing everything right, and then they're sabotaging it. But they've just taken advantage of an individual. Okay, but these people are busybodies. They are connecting with people, members in your family, and you're talking about historical cases. To them, I'm a whistleblower, which means I'm a threat. So if those who don't know what a whistleblower is a good person. They're not evil. They're the person. Well, if you undo my case, if my case was to be undone historically, you would find that they've used me for embezzlement. They've used me for tax invasion. They've stolen my ideas. They've stolen my identity and made it somebody else's. And they're getting rich out of my thoughts, my brains, my ideas. But definitely embezzlement and tax invasion has taken place. And when I'm talking about tax invasion, I'm talking about Unison Dance Crew. That needs to be undone. Everything about me has to be undone, and that is why I'm a threat to so many people in government. Okay, so what happened was Judge Sussex, she wrote a minute, okay, and this is her minute here. It was dated on the 19th of December, okay. And I'll just go slowly. You'll have to pause it so you can read it for yourself. It's quite clear she's read. I had to, when I lost my laptop was like the source of everything that I did. I needed it for everything. Okay. She didn't grant my memo. Okay, and I also have been to the Law Society since this, trying to find out how does it work, and I'm thinking, flippin' heck, what everyone has done to me is so serious. Okay, it's so serious. They all know who I am, and I can't even get a criminal lawyer to intervene for me, because they're so advanced in they have the upper hand on me, because they've studied me to the core. They've literally locked themselves into my soul, and that is what I can actually prove. But hey, I'm still alive. As you can tell by my voice, I'm okay. So I'm not giving up. Okay, so from my own personal experience, I have found other cultures, the white supremacists are using the twinning or the buddy system. That's how's the best way to explain it, where they've joined forces over one person. Okay, I'm one person on my own. I'm an individual. They don't like the originals. They don't like people representing themselves, but we can. And so basically I feel like I'm the one always on the defense trying to go forward, and this is where the relationship scam comes in. So I hope you'll get the picture. So read your set of circumstances correctly. But they are definitely using their relationship scam. It's a coward's game. Okay, I'm the aggrieved victim. If I react, or I've suffered greatly, like the mental anguish that goes through what I've gone through, it is justifiable, all right? But they've basically picked on all my faults, my flaws, and then they've secretly exploited me by coding me. That's why I'm saying it's a coward's game. It's the system is set out so you can't advance financially, because they know if you advance financially, you're going to obviously use it to take them, out legally. So that is what I'm up against, and they can only win if I get murdered. But I know that that's not going to happen to me. Because I just know God's on my side. So I'm going to go with it, but it is definitely secret societies. It's definitely secret societies pairing up together. So basically, I am the individual. I'm dealing with my individual civil rights as a human person. And honestly, I know without a shadow of doubt, they've secretly tried to silence me or to erase my existence. Obviously, I'm not letting that happen. But this is what I'm up against as far as self-defense. They've had the upper hand. They want to keep me poor. They don't want me to advance. But they are glued and addicted. Okay, so you're talking about they don't want my past to be dug up, because it will divert everything back to what it used to be. But it is that serious. And dangerous. So you got to be careful, because they are gluing. I have found when I go out personally, somebody is actually setting people up in my space. They shouldn't be doing that, but obviously somebody internally is doing it, and that is what their intention is, to keep me exploited publicly, to keep an eye on me, and to keep me suppressed so I can't advance. They are interfering in everything. I've tried everything possible to get a job, but they're interfering in all that too. They're stopping it. They're just coding, and they are using the public the public, like it could be anybody in public, could be a gang member or whatever. But I'm an introvert, and I'm that private, and sometimes, like, how the heck did you know I'm going to be doing this? It just tells me that they've got intimate access to everything I'm doing. It's an inhumane game. Okay, the intimacy is so wrong. When they're interfering into every single thing that you're going through, even your relationship, that clearly are, can define as that there's a likelihood you're being exploited and going through home invasion like I have. Okay, so there is a danger of being an introvert or just a sitting duck, and then secret society conspiring secretly, and you'll see people come out walking around like zombies. You just know in your gut that something's not right. Why are they there? Or you just know. But I just feel you just really need to listen to your own instincts of your environment. Words can't even really describe what I have suffered personally. They have made me suffer. The persecution, the torment, the ridicule, the humiliation. No amount of money could actually compensate what I've lost. It's a miracle that I'm still in a very sound of mind. Like, legally, intellectually, I'm fine. I know what I'm up against, and I have no intention of backing down or forgetting about what everyone has put me through. So at this point of time, I am putting an appeal. I'm opposing everything. Obviously, I'm going to be claiming compensation for my neck, the damage that they've caused, me, for the big letdown by the government for using me like how they have. So they've basically taken my human rights away. Also, I'm going to be dealing with the rape. Okay, they know, so that's what's happened. Historically, they've dug up my past, and then they've put all those people, you know, to protect the defendants, to protect those people that have actually committed like serious violent offences like rape. That's happened in my past. I never told anyone. That's how private I was, and that's why I got scared when the system didn't work. I didn't know what to do. But however, cases like that doesn't, you know, it's easy to prove. So I'm just going with the process at the moment, and I'm prepared to face all those challenges in the legal system. I feel like God wants me to deal with it. So, you know, people have actually dug up my past to use against me, but I'm definitely the victim of certain circumstances. I'm not where I am because of my own doing, but a very, very serious, gross malfunction of the government system. So bear in mind, I've actually exhausted the system. There's totally over 19 judges involved in my cases. That's very serious at the moment, but things are changing positively. They've made changes. I found that the system's set out for agencies to be agents. I don't know. But the thing is, we don't know who these agents are. These people are coming from, it could be a foreign agent, somebody coming from overseas, could be a mafia. You don't know who they are. But from my own personal experience, this system is really serious, is really dangerous, and it should be abolished, or new bylaws need to come by to protect the rights of individuals. These people have access, watching everything you're doing, and then they're controlling and manipulating by trafficking people within them, your family members and friends. So betrayal can easily take place. The problem with that is people are participating in games, not realizing it can backfire on them. Okay, so that's the risk you take if you get involved in things you know nothing about. You're walking into realms you don't know what you're getting yourself into. So that I'll just leave it at that for today. So this is my first video clip. So that's my update with my court cases. I'm going through a lot. Like I'm in a very serious, dire, straight set of circumstances. The other thing I have found is that when I'm putting in all my applications, historically, I've put all my applications and I've just submitted them to these hub desks. So they're using the hub desk to update what I'm doing, making it the intimacy and easy to steal somebody's identity. That's exactly what they've done to me. They've exploited me historically. So heaps of people globally has taken turns taking me out. One, you know, or stealing, or use me for money laundering or relationship scams, and then the twinning and switching. But I can confirm it that my environment is becoming a bit safer. So I think those that are noticing the issue. But that is where I am with my court case, and I have no intention of stopping that. This is such an inhumane situation for any members of the public, or even if you work for the government. What they put me through when I was working for the government, it was horrific. They trafficked me while I was working, and I can prove that in my personal property. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. Thanks.